Good evening, Garden City. I'd like to call to order our regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, May 6th at 7 p.m. Our first order of business is our opening ceremony, which consists of the national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for those service members that have given their lives while defending our country. Would everybody please stand? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Miller, can you take the roll, please?
Mayor Walker.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jacobs.
Here.
Councilmember Lynch.
Here.
Councilmember Squires.
Here.
Councilmember Earl.
Here.
Councilmember McCarge.
Here.
Councilmember Kerwin.
Here.
Okay, we'll move on to item 4, approval of the agenda as presented.
Mayor,
Councilmember Lynch.
I move for the approval of the agenda for Monday, May 6, 2019, as presented. Support.
Support from Councilmember Squires. Any comments from the table? From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 7-0. We'll move on to item 5, recognition. I'm going to bring up Police Chief Tim Gibbons to the podium, please. I'm going to swear in a couple new officers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. We're back again with some more swearing in. It's important to note that we're not adding positions. We just had a significant number of officers retire in the last 6 months, and we're just replacing them. The first up will be Officer Ryan Klein. Officer Klein joins us from the Detroit Police Department, where he had 2 years there and decided to come over and work with us. He is a Garden City High School graduate. Grew up in Garden City. Spent 30 years here so far. So it's always good to hire a local boy to police the streets he grew up on. We're super excited to have him. His wife Tiffany is going to be pinning his badge on, and it's always nice to get an officer with some experience to come in. It's nice to get young, brand new, fresh officers, but it's also nice to have a nice balance when you're replacing retired officers and some seniority to have some officers who have some experience. So Officer Klein, we're excited to have him here to provide that.
I will call up the 21st District Judge, Honorable Richard Hammer.
And I'm honored to be able to do this. Bear with me. It's a little clumsy getting this robe on it sometimes, but by the same token, it's an important symbol that we're here to do something very important, not as individuals, but in service to our community. So having said that, you put on my robe.
Please raise your right hand. I, Ryan Klein,
I, Ryan Klein,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Michigan,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Michigan,
the laws and the ordinances of the city of Garden City,
the laws, the ordinance
and the city of
of the
Garden
city
City,
of Garden City,
and will uphold and abide by
and will uphold and abide by
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
as well as all other orders, be they general, special, or otherwise,
as well as all other orders, general,
be they general,
be they general, special,
or otherwise,
or otherwise,
of the Garden City Police Department,
of the Garden City Police
to the
Department,
best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
And that I will not lend at any time,
And that I will not lend at any time
aid, advise, or succor
aid, advise, or succor
to any organization
to any organization
known or suspected
known or suspected
of having subversive tendencies,
of having subversive tendencies,
nor will I,
nor will I,
in any way,
in any way,
affiliate myself
affiliate myself
with any organization, any such organizations,
with any such organizations,
so help me God.
so help me God.
At this time, I'd like to invite Officer Klein's wife Tiffany to come up and pin the badge on. All right, next up will be our newest officer, Stephen Miller. Stephen's a graduate of Livonia Franklin High School, graduate of Schoolcraft College. Come on up, Stephen. Police Academy, has an associate's degree. This will be his first police job, and he's got some history here at Garden City. His father's also a police officer with us, so it's nice when you know the family and you know the type of person you're getting. So we're really excited to have Stephen here with us. And Stephen, you're up.
Please raise your right hand. I, Stephen, repeat after me. I, Stephen Miller,
I, Stephen Miller,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Michigan,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Michigan,
the laws and ordinances of the city of Garden City,
the laws and ordinances of the city of Garden City,
and I will uphold and abide by
and I will uphold and abide by
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
as well as all other orders,
as well as all other orders,
be they general, special, or otherwise,
be they general, special, or otherwise,
of the Garden City Police Department,
of the Garden City Police
to
Department,
the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
That I will not at any time
that I will not at any time
lend, aid, advise, or succor
lend, aid, advise, or succor
to any organization
to any organization
known or suspected
known or suspected
of having subversive tendencies,
of having subversive tendencies,
nor will I,
nor will I
in any way,
affiliate myself
affiliate myself
with such organizations.
with such organizations.
So help me God.
So help me God. Congratulations.
pinning Stephen's badge on is his wife, Emily. Come on up, Emily. Good job.
At this time, we're going to recess for about 3 minutes so council chambers can clear out. Okay, council is back in session. Before I go any further, I want to welcome the Garden City High School students in attendance today. We have 6 students from the high school in the advanced placement government class that are here to write a report on what they saw here tonight. So welcome, Garden City High School students. At this time, I'm going to call up the fire chief, Kathy Harmon. She has a presentation. Chief?
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Just wanted to give you a little bit of information. I'm still waiting on a press release in regards to the flooding issue. I've been in contact with the Wayne County Department of Homeland Security in regards to the flooding. But to date, we have about 45 residents that have been either reported or discovered as having had a flood issue. I've reported those to the county in addition to some sinkholes and some other problems. There is a form that'll be available at City Hall for the residents to fill out. All that's going directly to FEMA. As you know, they have declared a disaster area in Wayne County, so federal funding may or may not be coming. We are in a much better shape than some of the other communities downriver, but as soon as I get the press release, I will forward it to Mr. Doherty, and it'll be available to the residents as well. Any questions?
Where do they go to get the form?
They have them at the clerk's office now.
Clerk's
Yeah,
office.
I got the ones that go direct to FEMA now.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next, we have comments from state and county officials. I see Mr. Peterson's here from the State Rep. Joel Jones' office.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, Clerk, Doc. Yeah, our hearts go out to the people who were affected by the flood. The governor did declare a state of emergency, so that should put into action any kind of funding that is available through FEMA or the other agencies. I actually sent out a notice last week about the insurance claims. Hopefully that'll be shared by residents in the community. If there are any questions at all, if you have any problems, please don't hesitate to contact us at the state. A couple of public service announcements. I'm going to be brief. This is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. You know, we're about to move into the part of the year where there's a lot of sunshine and people exposed to ultraviolet rays definitely are at risk of getting skin cancer, so it's important to use sunscreen. SPF factor 30 is the minimum that you should use, or cover your body so that hopefully you don't get exposed to and get melanoma. That is one of the most deadly forms of cancer, so it's very important to protect yourself and your kids. You know, like kids out playing on the playgrounds, make sure they have skin, they're protecting their skins with either lotion or some other covering. It's also National Bike Month. I'm trying to get mine out and hopefully get on the road again. It's important to get exercise, especially as you get older, but it's also important to get out and enjoy the exercise with the kids. Next Sunday, May 12th, is Mother's Day. I think it's very important that we acknowledge and honor our mothers and give them a special treat that day, whether it's a gift, a simple hug or kiss. For those of us who've lost our mothers, you know, just, you know, sharing a memorable story, reflecting on the good times you had together, I think is important as well. I lost my mother some years ago, and we try to get together as a family and celebrate her life. As I mentioned, the governor declared a state of emergency, so again, if there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to contact us. The Attorney General put out a special warning. Unfortunately, during disasters, there's the incidents of shady contractors going out and knocking on people's doors, offering contract assistance to help with repairs. She had a couple of admonitions that she wanted to make people aware of. One is, don't make quick decisions about repairs. You know, anyone who's offering to fix your home or, you know, drain flooded basements right away and asking for cash, that's an obvious red flag that they're probably not legit. If you suspect that they are illegitimate and trying to perpetrate fraud, please report it. There's a number in Lansing you can call, 877-765-8388. Again, that's 877-765-8388. That's the Consumer Complaint Division of the Attorney General. It doesn't just apply in this situation, but anytime you think someone or you have been exposed to a fraud or some fraudulent activity, You can call that number and report it during business hours during the week. They also have an online process, and if you call that number, it'll direct you to the website where you can actually file a complaint online. The Secretary of State's mobile office will be in Garden City, May 18th. They'll have a shredder. You can also get anything done that you would do at a regular Secretary of State's office. They have all of the equipment and information available to allow you to renew your license tags, register to vote, change of address, the Michigan Organ Donor Registry. You can do any of those things. Another thing that's really important, and I wasn't aware of this until recently, I've forgotten about it, but as a result of the terrorist attack 9/11, the U.S. government will require all citizens that either fly domestically or go to federal buildings or military installations have what's called a Real ID compliant identification. And I don't know if many of you are familiar with the enhanced driver's license, but basically it kind of mirrors that kind of identification. It's a special ID that requires you to have your passport, birth certificate, and a number of other sources of identification to qualify to get. But if you travel or if you want to visit military bases, federal buildings, you'll need that ID. It goes into effect October 1st of 2020. If you've got an enhanced driver's license, they'll just convert it to that ID. You'll note people will start to have driver's license with a gold star in a circle in the upper right-hand corner, and that signifies that you've got a qualified identification. And if you want additional information on that, you can contact the Secretary of State. Again, I'm going to give out a number, 888-767-6424. That's 888-767-6424. That's the Secretary of State's number. We're excited. The Garden City High School Band, some of you may not know, but they'll be in Lansing May the 14th for a special performance at the Capitol. They're going to perform on the Capitol lawn at lunchtime. So we look forward to that. We're going to try to get everyone out to greet them and celebrate the fact that they're there. That's all I had. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Mayor?
Councilman Earl.
Councilman Earl?
I was hoping to see the rep because I had some legislative questions, so maybe you can pass it along. Could you find out the status of House Bill 4046?
Okay.
It's the short-term rental bill. It
Oh,
could
okay.
have its impact on our city. And I was hoping that the senator was going to be here, but obviously that is never going to happen. So could you pass along
Okay.
through her people and find out what the status is on revenue sharing? Our representative and our senator are going to try to work to bring that back to the cities and where it should be. And also, can you find out an update on the OPEB? Find out if there's going to be any movement on that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, we have no community events. Move under. Oh, community events, come on up.
Kelly Bailey. Every year for about 6 years now, I've been collecting boots. I started out in 2013 over on Middle Belt and John Hawk by the old foot statue. I take them downtown to the stand down every year in October. I've been going to that for about 8 years now. They gave me an award, which I think the community deserves for all of their help they've given me over the years to make this a success. So I will be out there Saturday, May 18th at the Lucky Squirrel, collecting boots again for our less fortunate veterans. Please feel free to bring them to me, and you can also contact me at Leon's Family Dining 5 days a week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 9, communications. Like I've stated at past council meetings, we're going to try to keep the residents informed with information. The first communication I have As promised, road work in Garden City is in high gear. So if you have any road work questions, the number to call is Ryan Kern or Charles Smith at Hennessy Engineering. Should be up on the screen now at 734-759-1600. You know, for street closures or any issues you have if they're on your street and you got questions. And we're also, in the next few weeks, going to be updating road work on the website. And again, always check the insert in the water bill as well. Last year, Garden City embarked on a new community cleanup program called the 4x4 Neighborhood Improvement Program. The program is designed to target services in a 4-block area, if you check the screen, over a period of 4 weeks. The map on the screen shows the areas completed last summer, as well as the first area in the southeast corner of the city that we are going to start this month. The first area that will be worked on is between Harrison and Inkster and Cherry Hill and Marquette. The program includes most city departments joining the effort to focus services and improvement efforts in a concentrated area. During the 4 weeks, departments will provide services and make improvement efforts with such things as pothole repairs, replacing old signs and poles, painting crosswalks and curbs, tree trimming, checking on fire hydrants, inspecting and cleaning storm drains, reviewing warrants for arrest for registered sexual predators, looking for streetlights that are out during the night drives, considering code violations for uncut grass, abandoned vehicles, unkept properties, litter removal, review business licenses, and consider business inspections, and to review and check any meter issues. 4 other areas will be designated soon, but I must say that the 4x4 program is a great program in Garden City. And I encourage all residents to keep your property up. It makes the city look good. It keeps property values up. So I encourage everybody to, cut your grass, keep your property up. And please don't blow the clippings out into the street. They just clog up our sewer. Please, sweep them up and bag them up, please. My last communication, each year as the weather gets warmer, we see an increase in citizens operating mopeds, mini bikes, ATVs, and golf carts on the roads and sidewalks in Garden City. The state of Michigan had 330 reported off-road vehicle crashes in 2017. 21 of those crashes took place in Wayne County. A few years back, we had some young girls that were riding a golf cart, and they ran through a yield sign, and they got broadsided, and they had serious injuries. We had a fatality a couple weeks ago on a moped driver. So I wanted to bring this to the residents. We are going to crack down, and the officers are going to be writing tickets for mini bikes and mopeds and golf carts. I would like to remind the residents that mini bikes, ATVs, and golf carts cannot be legally driven on the roadways or sidewalks in Garden City. We realize that these machines are fun to drive. However, they were manufactured for off-road use and are illegal to drive on the roadways and sidewalks. Moped operation can be legal on roadways when the moped is licensed and operated by a licensed driver. Those under the age of 19 are required to wear a safety helmet, and we encourage all riders to wear a safety helmet. Michigan Secretary of State, vehicles manufactured as off-road vehicles cannot be modified or assembled for on-road use. ORV manufacturers acknowledge to purchasers that their vehicles are manufactured as off-road vehicles. Most of these vehicles don't have the necessary safety equipment that cars have, nor do they meet the federal guidelines. If you have any questions, ask one of our police officers or call the police department. So we want to keep our city safe. I just want to bring that to the attention that officers are going to be looking to cite any mini bikes, golf carts, or mopeds riding up and down the streets and sidewalks. It is illegal in the city of Garden City. So that's all I have under communication tonight. At this time, I'm going to move on to the public hearing. The first one is for cyberbullying ordinance. I'm going to call up the police chief, Tim Gibbons.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. As we asked for a public hearing last week on this matter, on March 27th, 2019, Michigan's cyberbullying law went into effect. Cyberbullying is using an electronic device as a form of harassment, typically harassment that comes through like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You know, it's where a person communicates something that would put a person in fear or of harm or threatens them using that. You know, this law addresses a problem we're seeing, and this particularly in our high school and our junior high, where kids are using these to make other kids uncomfortable and feel threatened, and not even just limited to children, adults use them too. This law gives us the mechanism to do that, and by adopting it locally here as well, it also offers us some local control and sort of an easier method of enforcing the law that's on the books for the state. So adding it locally is something we would like to see if council so chooses. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to open up the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on the cyberbullying ordinance? I'll ask one more time. Anybody wishing to speak on the cyberbullying ordinance? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close that public hearing. I'm going to open up the public hearing for vapor and alternative nicotine products ordinance amendments. I'm going to let the chief speak on this one first, too.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is also another a more recent problem that has come up. We've always had a tobacco ordinance preventing minors from purchasing or being sold tobacco. However, one of the absences in our particular ordinance is a new development is vaping. It's e-cigarettes or vape pens use a vapor to distribute nicotine to someone who inhales it. As our ordinance is currently written, we can't enforce that locally. So what we're looking to do is add some language we've seen other municipalities enact so that we can better enforce this. It's particularly become an issue at the high school where we're always trying to do something to discourage nicotine use amongst our youth. And vaping has become a bit of an issue, and it's no good for our kids, so we'd like just a greater ability to enforce that here locally. Both of these ordinances that we're looking at getting council to consider passing are both related to helping better police the environment for our youth here in the town. So.
Okay, anybody wishing to speak on vapor or alternative nicotine products ordinance? Please come up to the podium. State your name, and there is a 3-minute time limit.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ellen Bowman. I'm a junior at Garden City High School, and vaping is a really, really big problem at our school, to the point where, especially for the females, our bathrooms end up getting shut down in certain places because kids during passing time like to go in there and, vape or just use e-cigarettes, stuff like that. So if there's anything possibly that could be done to crack down more so on it, the school does the most it can, but I feel like there could be more done about it because it's frustrating.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close that public hearing, and I'm going to open up the public hearing for the 5-year capital improvement program, but I'm going to have Mr. Doherty speak on this first.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the same information we received during the budget process. Nothing has been changed. Originally, it was put out in December according to our charter. It's most updated now, especially the first column of 1920 of our hope going into the next budget. The other years have a number of pieces of information, but that could be tweaked as we go along. The most important thing about the 5-year capital plan is it could change as the budget changes itself. So at this point, there are no direct purchases that we're looking to move forward immediately with the capital, except a couple of safety issues with the fire department. But as we look at the budget going into the fall, if it looks like there is more money there to be able to purchase some additional capital purchases, we'll move forward. If not, we can always pull back. So it's a list of what is needed by our different departments, but it's something that can definitely be held off depending on how the budget goes along. So right now, this is to put out to the public and to everybody of what we're looking at as far as capital purchases beyond what our regular budget is.
Thank you. Okay, anybody wishing to speak on the 5-year capital improvement plan? Okay, seeing none, I'll close that public hearing. Move on to item 11, the consent agenda.
Mayor?
Councilmember Lynch.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda, items 11A 1 through 4.
Support from Councilmember Squires. Any comments from the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Move on to item B, our action items. The first one is cyberbullying ordinance.
Mayor?
Councilmember Lynch.
I move to approve the attached ordinance of the City of Garden City, providing for a prohibition of cyberbullying, providing for penalty, providing for repeal or severability, providing for a savings clause, providing for publication, and providing for an effective date.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Kerwin. Any comments from the table? From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Item 2, the vapor and alternative nicotine products ordinance.
Mayor,
Councilmember Earl.
I move to approve the attached ordinance providing for amendments to certain sections of Chapter 135 regarding minors and tobacco, including sections 135.09, 135.10, and 135.99.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Jacobs. Any comments from the table?
Long overdue.
General public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Item 3, 5-year capital improvement plan.
Mayor,
Councilmember Squires.
I move to approve the proposed capital improvement program, CIP, for fiscal years ending 2019 to 2024, as presented.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Earl. Comments on this one?
Mayor?
Councilmember McCarch.
I really like the way you've done the capital improvement program this year, as far as bringing it to us twice. In the past, when I was even working as a department head, the capital improvement plan really was, it needed to be done, so we knew what we needed to have to do, but wasn't really practical as far as really giving us an idea of what we needed to get that year. It's adjustable, yes, but at least it's a little more realistic, so thank you.
From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes 7-0. Item 4, budget amendment number 2, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Miller.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This evening before us is our second budget amendment. As we've been going through the budget process, I've been looking at, obviously, the current and then also what we're planning for the future for the next budget. And when in doing so, we've identified some revenue sources that we had planned on, but we had an estimate for. So that's kind of what is leading to this, the first item here for the general fund. It was an increase to the general fund, about $405,000 is what is proposed. And actually, it's less than that. I don't even have my own revised version, I'm sorry. I'll look at this one. $369,000 is what is proposed. And that is, again, that is an adjustment to the positive of the general fund. And for the most part, that is coming from the estimates that were given to us for Blue Cross and Blue Shield health insurance usage for the year. And so Blue Cross has come to us with an estimate of how we will finish out the year, and actually we're ahead of the game, which is good news for the budget and has led to that amendment. So I wanted to bring that to you. It also had some expenditure changes too. So that was, again, as the budget was a guideline for last year, some of the revenues that were proposed were not as high. And so we wanted to look at, in the next 2 months, are we going to get that revenue? Are we going to collect all those fees? And we're making an adjustment because I don't think we're going to. Plant Moran reviews all of these figures. And again, we still feel that the expenditure reduction is also needed at this time. The second portion of the budget amendment is for the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission. That was a grant that was received for $106,988. That was not accounted for in this current budget, and we're spending in this current budget, so we have to make that amendment also. That's for additional police officers, additional changes to the building. Everyone sees that work going on down the building department's hallway, and also to provide for that indigent counsel for clients here at the court. That was in there. And then also a water and sewer request for a $30,000 increase for increased supplies in that department. As we're doing more roads this year, we didn't budget for that many, that much work to come out of the water department as we're looking at the roads and the conditions of sewers and water lines below the surface, so they need that. So in general, it's still good, it's to the positive, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Mellon? Okay, a motion's in order.
Mayor?
Councilmember Lynch.
I move to approve budget amendment number 2 to the 2018-19 fiscal year budget.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Kerwin. Any comments from the table? From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes 7-0. Item 5 is a comprehensive fee schedule.
Mayor?
Councilmember Squires.
I move to approve the proposed 2019-2020 fee schedule as presented.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Jacobs. For the residents, most of the fees stayed the same, but we had to put fees in place now that we have a fire marshal for inspection fees, so those are added. And then people who do not pull a permit and they do work on the weekends, build garages, family rooms, there's a fee if you don't pull the permit, and we call them weekend warriors, then the permit will be doubled if we find out after the fact that you built something without a permit. So that's in the fee schedule, that the permit will be doubled. I think that's pretty much the only changes, correct?
And library fees.
And a library fee. Any other comments from the table? From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 7-0. And then item 6, a lot split for parcel number 35-00602-0718-000.
Mayor,
Councilmember Jacobs.
I move to approve the lot split at 30705 Maplewood, parcel number 35-006-02-0718-000.
Support.
Support from Councilmember McCarge. Any comments from the table? From the general public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 7-0. At this time, we will move on to item 12, public comments. These are for comments that were not on the agenda tonight, items that were not on the agenda. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium, state your name. There's a 3-minute time limit. This is your opportunity to make a comment or a statement. It's not the time to go back and forth with council members.
Hi, good evening.
Evening, Ms. Dole.
I just wanted to mention real quick that there's a lot of things happening downtown right now. We've got some new businesses coming in. We have a lot of facade improvements going on down there, so people will be seeing a lot of improvements throughout the summer. Our cleanup is underway. The DDA is looking at cleaning the efflorescence off of the brick screen walls downtown, and there's some repairs that need to be done to those. That's that white streaking that you see on the bricks. The flowers on their poles will be going up pretty soon, and everybody knows how beautiful those always are. The hospital banners, the DDA, what I understand, Garden City Hospital approached our mayor and asked about hanging some banners up downtown, so he referred them over to the DDA, and our maintenance company has installed those, and they look pretty good. The Lucky Squirrel is happening May 18th. That will happen May through September on the third Saturday of the month. And what we've done is the Straight Farmhouse will no longer be having their flea market next to them, and the proceeds from the Lucky Squirrel will be donated to the Straight Farmhouse Garden City Museum to benefit them. So make sure you come on out, and when you do, bring your boots for the boot drive. Last but not least, the mayor also, Representative Jewell's office mentioned that May is Bike Month. May is also Motorcycle Awareness Month. And most people know that we ride, so I just want to ask everybody to be careful. Watch for the motorcycles out there. There's a lot of them now. And the mayor also mentioned about putting grass clippings in the road. That's also extremely dangerous when the motorcycles go over the grass. Makes for a very slippery surface. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Jones?
Yeah, Mike Jones, Donnelly, Garden City. Just want to remind everybody that the Garden City Kiwanis, in conjunction with Barson's Greenhouse, will be hosting the Mother's Day flower sale this weekend, Saturday from 8 to 8, Sunday from 8 to 4. Takes place in the high school parking lot. It's a good time to pick up some very nice flowers. We know the products that Barson's offers are excellent, so I'll invite you to that.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Regina Sistrunk. I am a resident at 1537 Harrison Street. I'm coming today because I would like to go on public record this evening to speak about the public nuisance being the standing water surrounding my entire backyard. As you know, there was a considerable amount of rainfall, almost an entire week, the week of April 21st, which created a vast area of flooding in my neighborhood and particularly around my entire backyard. Garden City Code of Ordinance, Chapter 92, Public Nuisances, D states if any land, excavations, lots, cellar, vault, sewer, drains, place, or premises within the city shall be damp, unwholesome, offensive, or filthy, or be covered during any portion of the year with stagnant or impure water, etc., etc., it would be considered a public nuisance. There are about 5 properties, as I stated, that surround my property. 1555 Harrison, 28455 Bach Road, 28437 Bach Road, 28445 Bach, and then on the other side of my property, 28446 Hennepin Avenue. It was so bad in regards to the flooding that there were 13 ducks out there. It was a river. And I purchased my home in May of 2018 with a sunroom. It's a 3-season room. It's totally glass and I can slide my doors. That was one of my most important selling points because I like to sit outdoors, as well as my mom who resides with me. Last year, in August, after I purchased my home, we couldn't even bear to go outside. This was a problem last year, going on into the summer, and with this rain and this rainfall this year, it's a very, very devastating problem for me. And it is, quite frankly, going to create a bad quality of life for me, and that's unfair as a homeowner. So I'm here today to basically submit this presentation at the May 6th Garden City Council meeting as my official written complaint and notice in regards to the Garden City Code of Ordinance, Chapter 92. And I would like for council to provide me with the next steps and/or any type of contact that I can speak with in regards to this. I mean, it's very bad.
15 seconds, ma'am. There's a 3-minute time limit.
What is your address?
We're going to get your address.
1537 Harrison Street.
We'll have the DPS director come out
And I
there.
have pictures if anybody would like them, as well as articles in regards to dangers of stagnant water, which creates mice and, like I said, the mosquitoes and et cetera.
We'll send out the DPS director to assess the situation and speak
Okay.
with you, okay?
All right, thank you.
If you have a
Thank
copy
you.
to give to the clerk.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak under public comments? Okay, seeing none, city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to thank the GCYAA baseball program. We had the grand opening this past Saturday, and I was allowed to throw out the first pitch. And I knew no matter how good or bad I throw the ball, that Rudy, our canine dog, was coming up next to catch a softball pitch. And he was fantastic. I was not as great as he was. But even by the time he got up there, I thought to myself, how did I throw the ball? So it worked out perfectly to have a dog catch right after somebody else throws. So that's exciting. What a great crowd out there. I was there last year. And the council's all involved, all the local players involved. And that's just a wonderful thing. And we're going to be doing some work on the fields a couple of different ways that more citizens are going to hear more about in the near future. So that's exciting. Purple Bag Challenge is coming back starting on Monday. We'll have these out. Again, the purple bag, as well as a set of gloves inside. Merriman Baptist Church is going to be helping us, Merriman Road Baptist Church is going to be helping us roll these up. We're going to have a couple of thousand of them as we go into the summer. You'll be able to pick these up at City Hall in the lobby, and we ask you to go out, just do a cleanup in your neighborhood, a local park, or anywhere else. And take pictures. Let us know where you were. We have a Facebook page where you can promote if you take your children out or grandchildren out, or do it as a school project or a group project. Please take a look at our website. We actually have a web page that has the Purple Bag Challenge on it, but that starts again on Monday. And just one last thing is that we have our 2011 high school graduate from Garden City High School, Lise Made, who unfortunately didn't get all the way to the end for Miss USA, but she is our Miss Michigan from Garden City. So these signs are going to be put up. These signs are going to be put up out each of our entrances to the city. There's about 11 different locations, so they'll be up for some time. So wish her well and everything else, but she has brought some great recognition to our city. So that's it, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Miller, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, I have two things. This is the last council meeting before Shred Day. The clerk's office has been busy coordinating all of the efforts that are necessary to pull off Shred Day. It is going to be Saturday, May 18th, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the City Hall parking lot. Enter Office Central. So if you come in off of Ford Road, then come in the back so we can keep the flow going through for Shred Day. Also, the Mobile Secretary of State will be here. The police department will be working to collect unused prescription, drug disposal, and then one of the big things that I really want to stress is to bring a food good for the home pantry. Again, that's a big day for them to collect all of the food products. Also, any non-perishable foods or toiletries is acceptable. So when you come for Shred Day, please bring a few things for the home pantry food. Also, last week, a couple of the members of my staff and I went to Garden City High School, where these fine young people go, and we did a voter registration drive. We registered about 40 kids there, so they'll be able to vote in the next election, which will be November here in Garden City. So it was very nice.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Jacobs, you got anything?
Yes, I have a few things. One, congratulations to our two new officers. They seem to be getting younger and younger, Chief. Boy, either that or some of us are getting older. So congratulations and good luck to them. I want to piggyback on GCYA. The great event, a lot of people. The kids had a lot of fun. Paws was out there, and also the pancake breakfast fundraiser for the GCYA was that morning, and I don't know what they raised, but another good event. Well attended. Mr. Doherty, and I asked you earlier, and Mr. Omen's not here, but the Craig Street restoration from Cherry Hill to Marquette that we had issues with, that they're supposed to come back.
I was hoping to get an answer before that. I'll have it tomorrow for you. Finish
Okay.
off the shoulder on Craig, yes, correct.
Right, a lot of it died after they did it for whatever reason, and it's supposed to be under warranty. On our capital budget, I'm really hoping that our fire department gets all their safety equipment that they need. It's long overdue, and they need it for their safety and to help them do their jobs and keep them safe. Also, sports venue is hosting this month for our home pantry. If you bring in some non-perishables, I think for everyone you get a raffle ticket that they put in for some prizes. And again, it's all month. Drop off your non-perishables. It's a great cause to help our home pantry. And our recreational marijuana ordinance, there is an odor ordinance that the city has, and it's legal by state to have that at your house, but there is an odor code that if you basically offend your neighbors or, stuff like that, you are going to get a ticket or a violation. It's common sense to be courteous of your neighbors. If they have young kids, especially in the summer, and they have their windows open, they probably don't want their kids, or if they have parents or elders over there, or they just don't like the smell. Be considerate. The state law says you can smoke it in your house, but if it offends anybody outside, then that's a violation. So please be aware of that and be courteous. And finally, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. That's all I have, Mayor.
Councilmember Squires.
Just a couple things. First of all, congratulations and welcome to our two new officers, Klein and Miller. We're happy to have you. And second, I want to commend Walgreens. I was in line the other day here in Garden City's Walgreens, and I noticed that anyone who purchased tobacco products had to show an ID, either their driver's license or their state ID, even if they were older people, and they scanned them into the computer. And I would just like to say thank you to them for being on the ball and complying with our rules and regulations. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Earl.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, obviously, congratulations to our new officers. Chief doing a good job of bringing us in good talent, and they're doing a great job on the streets. I hope they keep it up. I'm happy because we have good FTOs that teach them the right way to act. So good job on that. The Kerwin Classic, I wanted to mention real quick, a very successful event. A lot of teams from outside of Garden City that came here, and I heard nothing but positive things about, even though it was a rainy weekend, I heard nothing but positive things about the city. And so it's always good to have outside people come in, participate in events here, and get to see what the city offers. And then lastly, Garden City Baseball. Any baseball players out here? Just wanted to point out, since there is a baseball player here, that the JV and varsity are having a phenomenal season, as is softball. So keep up the good work on that. I expect a lot of victories coming up. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember McCarge.
Just a couple things. I couldn't go to the opening day, GCYA opening day, because I was promised my mom I would paint her bathroom. But I thought I would go to the pancake breakfast first. I was just amazed at the support that GCYA had. The parking, I would have had to walk a half a mile to get into it. So I really would like to congratulate them on their pancake breakfast. And I will have a check, and I probably can give it to Councilman Earl, and he can get my donation to GCYA. It was just unbelievable. The flooding. I did have someone coming to me, I was going to mention about the flooding. And that's not the flooding right now. We all know it's rained and rained and rained, and then you expect, in a few weeks it drains off. But we do have several properties that I have been asked to go out and look at that's still wet in late June, July, August. And I would like to know what the requirements are. What can the city do? If there's a nuisance ordinance, then what are we going to do? So I'm very concerned about that. It was nice that you gave such a good presentation. Thank you. The only thing else one of the last things I have, the Maplewood Community Center is hosting the Michigan State University Extension 4-H Junior Master Gardener Program. It will be June 3rd, Mondays, June 3rd through August 26th, a 12-week program. You wouldn't have to come to everyone. I know there's vacations at that time, but it's an excellent program for kids, I believe, and I'm going to look if they have the age. I know it's grades 3 through 8, and again, it's through the Michigan State University program, and they require their volunteers and their instructors to have training and to have background checks, but mostly to be enthusiastic gardeners themselves. When I'm not at council meetings on Mondays, I will be over at Maplewood helping John Gibbons, who is heading the program. So it's a great program, and we really hope that kids get involved. They can contact Maplewood Community Center. The last thing I have is, yes, I'd like to have every mother to really enjoy this weekend. It's just a great day to honor our mothers. But I do have a special person who's probably watching now, and that's my mom. And I would like to wish her happy Mother's Day. I've been very, very fortunate that I have my mom still with me. She is 95. And when I was painting on Saturday, she was right there with me helping. And and she does her own yard work, and she keeps her house up, and she's an amazing mom. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. That is all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Kerwin?
To the young lady that came up and was talking about vaping and e-cigarettes in the high school being a problem, I know that it's an issue in the middle school as well. I'm seeing these young kids on Snapchat posting edibles. They're 12, 13 years old. They're probably getting it from older friends, parents, I don't know. It definitely is an issue, so I do agree with you on that. I wanted to thank Joe Bandy and the GCYA for not only just the opening day for the city, but the Kerwin Classic is, I hold that kind of dear to my heart because it's named after my father. It's a huge event. It holds 52 teams in that tournament, and it was a horror show a couple weekends ago because Mother Nature did not want to cooperate, and they busted their behinds getting that done. And I just really appreciate that, especially since it has my name on it. You want it to be successful, so I really thank them for all of that. However, my daughter Graceland did mention that she would love to be able to play in her papa's tournament, so if they ever considered putting girls fast pitch together as a tournament, that would be great. This past weekend, I went to a conference through the Michigan Municipal League. It was very informative. They talked a lot about how all of our cities have lost so much in revenue sharing. For those that don't know what revenue sharing is, it's the distribution of a portion of federal tax and revenues that the state and local governments get. I was in awe of how much that we lost. I'm still new on council. My first year dealing with budgets was last year. Your eyes kind of glaze over. It's a lot to take in. This conference was really good at kind of teaching me what to look for, how it's put together. I didn't realize how much we lost, but Michigan comes in last place when it comes to how much money that we get. We really need to get our representatives to fight for us on these issues. The MML is trying to create some kind of noise on this because there's not really anything that we can do about it. We really need our legislative people to get that done for us. You can go to Save My City on Facebook, and it's Save MI City. It's very informative. It tells all about how our local cities around us, how much they've lost, and what problems are going on in their cities as well. I will say there was about 16 cities there representing at that conference, and after listening to all of them, I was very proud to say that I was from Garden City because I sat back and thought, wow, we are good. There were a lot of issues, and we didn't have any of the problems that were going on that they were talking about. I was very happy to say that. I do know that Traverse City, that's where I was, they opted in for the recreational marijuana. And while they have so many cool shops and so much to do there for tourists, we went to a lot of those things, and we had to leave. It smelled so bad. It's not that they were doing it inside these businesses, but the small businesses, when you walk in, it just overtakes the whole place. So I'm kind of glad on our decision, what we made for there. And last, I would like to wish my mom and all the moms and dads doing it all a very happy Mother's Day. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Lynch.
Yes. First, I'd like to thank Chief Harmon for staying on top of FEMA and all the things that they have to offer us with our flooding. I know she's been in contact with me twice for things going on in the city, and it's really nice to know that you're staying on top of that. Thank you. GCYA opening day was just awesome. I want to take my hats off not only to what went on the day of, but rather the night before. The guys that were out there draining the fields and getting them prepped so that the kids could come out in parade and march and have an opening day, because that was an awful lot of work that was put into that. So thanks for everybody that prepped those fields and drained them. And it was wonderful. And also, I am just amazed at the road crews. Just when you thought you drove down a street the week before, you can't drive down it anymore because there's a road crew there either doing patchwork or tearing it out, getting ready to put in the next one. They are really moving along, and I'm quite pleased with what I'm seeing. So continue on with the good work. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I want to say congratulations to Jacob Grant. He's a pitcher for Garden City High School baseball team. He was named the Hometime Life Prep Athlete of the Week. In Garden City High School baseball, they are 18-3 and 8-0 in the conference. They're doing excellent, and congratulations, Jacobs. Also, I want to congratulate Elise Mada, Miss Michigan, for not only representing Michigan, but representing Garden City in the Miss USA contest. We are proud of you, and thanks for putting Garden City on the map. Congratulations to the new Garden City police officers that were sworn in tonight. Welcome to a great department and a great city. Opening day, like a few have mentioned, I don't know how much residents realize the volunteers that we have in the city that make things happen. A lot of other cities, opening day would have been rained out. Those guys went out there with sump pumps and garden hoses and pumped those fields 4 or 5 inches of rainwater down to the sewer, the city sewer, and drained those fields. We had a beautiful opening day. You couldn't even see no water. I mean, and then the coaches that coach the kids, just all the volunteers, the pancake breakfast, what goes on to make the Kerwin Classic 52 team. And that's not the city. It's the people are what makes up our city. So it's our people that volunteer their time to make Garden City great. I mean, we have a great city, so I want to, my hat's off to all the people involved in making that happen. Thank you, Garden City High School students, for attending. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back. And I hope you vote this November if you're old enough. And then happy Mother's Day to all the moms in Garden City. And that's all I have. No further business. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.